Good morning to all of you. I am delighted to address this event, especially in view of the importance of the topic being discussed, climate change and coffee. I would like to share with you some thoughts on the context on how climate change may impact the coffee sector over the coming years. My presentation will be fairly general. The other presenters here today will provide you with a more detailed perspective on the subject. Climate change is probably the most severe threat facing the coffee industry. We recognize this at the International Coffee Organization, and this is why, over the past few years, we have invested significant efforts to understand the latest developments in climate science. We have worked closely with a number of people in this room. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, is unequivocal. Climate change is having a severe impact on coffee production. It expects climate change to continue to impact coffee production in the future, especially considering the current state of vulnerability of coffee producing areas. Climate variations have always been a key factor in the fluctuations of global coffee yields. The IPCC has improved its climate models over the past few years, and it's now much more confident in its assessments. Moreover, over the past 5 years, we have seen climatic fluctuations that impact coffee productions in reality. We have seen how extreme weather events in Central America, Colombia, and Brazil have led to losses of more than 2% of the global production. These events may well be early indicators of a trend where extreme weather events occur more often. Changes in the weather may also impact coffee quality. Coffee needs relatively specific conditions, temperature, rainfall, and altitude in order to grow. A rise in global temperature and changing climate may reduce the availability of these conditions. The IPCC scientists have also told us that climate change can reduce the area of land that is suitable for coffee production. Their models tell us how suitable areas for coffee producing could materially decrease with only small increases in temperature. They also told us how climate change could increase the occurrence of crop pests and diseases like the coffee leaf in Central America. I was just remembering that 2 years ago when we faced this leaf rust crisis, the International Coffee Organization's Council asked me to lead a delegation to visit Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. My report highlighted, among other things, how climate change is an area of concern for the long-term sustainability of the coffee sector, and how we need to adapt this coffee sector to be less vulnerable and more prepared to face these situations. We believe that our sector needs to be prepared to deal with the risks of climate change. To address these risks, the coffee sector will need to adapt its production and supply processes to be more resilient to weather events and to an increasingly warmer planet. Smallholder farmers are especially vulnerable to climate change. Indeed, millions of smallholder farmers who live with limited access to agricultural services and protections will likely suffer the most. These farmers will face severe threats from adverse weather conditions or outbreak of pests and disease, which can wipe out whole crops or therefore their livelihoods. Men, women, and young people assume different roles and face different challenges and opportunities in coffee-producing households and along the coffee value chain. Women take care of family needs in addition to contributing up to 70% of labor in coffee production. As a consequence, women may have impacts by climate change to a greater extent. We have a lot to do in the coming years. The good news is that we are already seeing countries and companies initiating, acting, and progressing around these issues. One example of a coffee-producing country which is working to make its coffee sector more resilient to extreme weather events is Costa Rica. It has developed a coffee sector action plan and will be proposing it at the United Nations meeting for financing. Ms. Ivania Quezada, Costa Rica's Vice Minister of Agriculture, will tell us more about her work later on. In addition to the work by governments, companies have also begun to work on mitigation and adaptation measures. Some of the world's largest coffee roasting and trading companies have set targets to purchase coffee that has been certified or verified in one or more sustainability schemes. Companies are also sharing best practice in climate adaptation via the Coffee and Climate Initiative. Michael Opitz will tell us more about this latest program. The International Coffee Organization will attend as an observer to the 21st Conference of the Parties of the United Nations Framework on Climate Change, UNFCCC. We would like to inform your members, the governments of the leading coffee countries and consuming countries on this important topic. We will continue to work with a wide spectrum of organizations to advance our understanding. I invite you all to join us. Thank you.